These are the craziest ways people have saved lives. But as the video goes on, they get crazier and crazier. Starting with a catch so crazy, it saved a life.
Oh! Protected his kids.
Save.
Damn! Dude saved his kid from becoming target practice and didn't even spill his beer. You don't see that every day. And, you don't see this every day either. Because this weatherman right here was live on air when he heard this.
Area right here. She is still screaming, but we got you. We got you. 911, they're coming. You're good. You're good. Oh, man, it's a situation. We will get back to you in a little bit. I'm going to go see if I can help this lady out a little bit more, you guys. I'll be back.
Now that's a lucky lady. But this driver, not so much. Because he thought he had plenty of time to make it across until the unthinkable happened. Yeah, this car got stuck right in the middle of some train tracks. And if it weren't for those bystanders, that dude would be cooked. And so would this lady. Jesus! Talk about doom scrolling, huh? But this next moment was on a whole other level, because this fast food restaurant was in the middle of getting robbed, and the only two customers inside just happened to be off-duty cops.
I saw her hands go up like this. I'm like, is he doing what I think he's doing? And he's like, yeah.
I guess you could say he picked the wrong place at the wrong time. But if you thought that timing was crazy, then check this out. Because during the stolen truck police pursuit, this man was driving recklessly through the city, doing everything he could to lose the cops. Until eventually, he had no choice but to ditch the car and make a run for it. Yeah, so he hopped the fence, thinking he was in the clear, when all of a sudden...
Oh my God, there's a citizen going after him. Boom! Wow! That was a citizen after him.
Jesus, that dude's got balls of steel. And so does this old lady. Because one time, a jewelry store was under attack, and the only person who came to the rescue was a 70-year-old grandma.
She says she first thought it was a gang beating somebody up. When she realized it was a robbery, she really got mad. 2 sledgehammers versus 1 grumpy granny's handbag, no contest.
Oh, damn. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see this coming either, because this grandpa put an end to a police chase quicker than the cops could.
I had one opportunity and I had to make the choice if I was going to act or if I was going to be a bystander.
It scares me to death what may have been going through that young man's mind, and I fear he, for a split second, had some very ill intentions.
Now that's impressive. But I think this cowboy has him beat, because he was out shopping at his local Walmart when he heard this.
Stop him, he stole my bike, I kind of look around, and then all of a sudden this guy goes whizzing by me on a bicycle.
And immediately after, he giddies up through the parking lot and takes matters into his own hands.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
We got a guy just stole a bike here at Walmart. I got him roped and tied to a tree.
What?
I looked up, and from the horse, there's a rope connected to the ankle of a gentleman on the ground holding onto a tree.
So it's real.
It was real.
Yeah. This dude's out here playing Red Dead in real life. But our next hero was playing Superman, because he was out flying his paramotor when out of nowhere, he spotted a car fully submerged in the river. And to make matters worse, there was a woman clinging on for dear life. So he performed an emergency landing and rushed to the scene of the crash.
You need help?
Oh my God! I fell with my car in here.
Ahora eso.
Mire, el carro está ahí, tranquilo. Grande.
For help. A neighbor comes, grabs that lady. Was insane. Thank you, sir. No problem.
Damn. I guess not all heroes wear capes after all, but some of them just wear shorts and a polo shirt. Because back in 2018, during what should have been a routine race, driver Mike Jones was coming around a turn when all of a sudden, he lost control and slammed straight into a wall, coming to an abrupt stop and bursting into flames. At that moment, Mike was convinced he was going to die, until one man came to the rescue.
Turns out that man was Mike's dad, and just as the flames erupted in a fireball, he managed to pull Mike to safety.
I did not care that there was flames going on. I did not care. I had a polo shirt and shorts. The only thing that I was concerned about was getting my son out that car.
Yeah, this man didn't wait for help. He became the help. But it gets even crazier than that, because he actually got in trouble for it.
Dad was actually put on probation for his actions?
David, it's not every day a hero gets reprimanded, but when Dean Jones saved his son from that burning race car, he also broke a rule against running onto the track. Now he's on probation and could face other disciplinary action.
That's just ridiculous. And so was this police chase, because this dude stole a car, wrecked it, and for a moment it looked like he was getting away, only for this to happen.
Whoa! Who's that guy? It's just instinct, just to, block the guy off and, slow him down a little bit.
Lou Pizarro says he didn't think twice about trying to stop the suspect when he noticed police officers were chasing him.
Truckers are built different, man, especially the ones that drive big rigs. Because this man didn't just become a hero, he became an international legend. Back in 2021, LAPD stopped a man suspected of murder. And instead of following instructions like a normal person, he slammed the gas.
This individual is weaving in and out of traffic. He's going at extremely high speeds, almost as if he's taunting the police to follow him.
Yeah. And this quickly turned into one of the craziest pursuits the city had ever seen. Because not only was he believed to be armed and dangerous, but he had already assaulted a police officer, meaning at any second, this chase could have ended in tragedy. Until one man decided to do something crazy.
Oh no! Oh no! That's it! He crashed.
The runaway pickup truck smashes right into Ahmed's rig, and it's all caught on his dashboard camera.
You decided to physically block him from being able to go any further.
As we spoke, another driver yelled praise for the hero.
Yeah, we're just lucky no one got hurt. But all right, we're going from asphalt to alpine. Because in 2023, Ian Steger was out snowboarding Mount Baker, something he'd done for years without any trouble. But this time, he was flying through the trees and realized he was going too fast. So, in a desperate attempt to slow down, he threw his board sideways, only to fall backwards into a tree wall. So in a split second, Ian was buried upside down in the snow, with no one around, no one who saw it happen, and no one coming to save him.
You started to think you were gonna die.
Oh yeah, I was convinced, 100%. Yeah, I didn't think that I was gonna live.
That was until the unluckiest day of his life turned into the luckiest. Because by pure coincidence, a skier just happened to be riding down the same stretch of Mount Baker, an out-of-bounds area that's rarely used. And as he passed through the trees, out of the corner of his eye, he saw something horrifying.
Oh shit. You alright? You okay? You alright? Okay, you're good. You're good, I got you. You okay? Can you breathe? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, this guy just dug him out of his grave. Now that's definitely a hero. And hey, you could be my hero too. Just hit that like and subscribe button. I'm not gonna make it, man! Please! Sorry about that. But anyways, even that's nowhere near as insane as this. Because this guy somehow saved the plane from crash landing mid-flight. Yeah. Back in March of 1985, in St. Augustine, Florida, this small plane was in serious trouble. Because not only was it running low on fuel, but its landing gear was stuck. Meaning every second that passed brought them closer to disaster. So the pilot did the only thing he could. He attempted an emergency landing.
The plane swoops in. It lines up its right wing with the flatbed, but the truck is not high enough.
Yeah, leaving the pilot with no choice but to circle back and attempt a second emergency landing. And this time, they attempted something even crazier.
With the car driving beneath the plane at about 70 miles an hour, the mechanic will attempt to yank the wheel down into position. The pilot holds an altitude of just 7 feet, low enough for the mechanic to reach the undercarriage. But the pilot can't see what's happening beneath him. The slightest error could slam the plane into the car or rip the mechanic out. He steels his nerves, reaches up, and the wheel locks into place.
Damn, I can't believe it! Now, on the topic of life or death rescues, we gotta talk about Sydney Thomas. Because she was seconds away from losing everything until one man stepped up. Back in 2024, Sydney was driving her semi-truck over the Clark Memorial Bridge when out of nowhere, the unthinkable happened. A pickup pickup truck swerved into her lane, causing a collision that drove her truck straight off the bridge at 45 miles per hour. In that moment, Sydney's life was hanging by a thread, because the only thing holding her in place was a bridge beam that had gotten caught on the back of the truck.
He hit me, and once he hit me, he took my suspension out, which meant that it didn't matter which way I turned the wheel. The truck was gonna go whatever direction it wanted to go.
From that point on, Sydney was trapped inside the 18-wheeler, 100 feet above the river, completely motionless, hoping that if she stayed still, the truck would remain wedged in place. And if that wasn't the case, and she somehow did survive the fall, she didn't know how to swim.
I was like, I can't believe this, that I'm really hanging over the river. I was in shock. I was like, this is crazy.
Sydney's only hope was to wait for someone to pull her out of the truck, and wait she did, because for the next 45 harrowing minutes, she remained frozen until help arrived.
Suddenly, Louisville firefighter Bryce Carden appeared, suspended in the air next to her window.
Yeah, and to this day, Sydney's forever grateful for her hero who refused to let her fall. That's crazy. But this next guy was saved in a completely different way by a whole different kind of hero. See, back in 2003, 24-year-old Juan Catalan was wrongfully convicted of murder for the killing of a young woman in Los Angeles, despite having an alibi saying he was at a Dodgers game with his daughter on the night of, and even having tickets to prove it. He was sentenced to life in prison with no hope of ever getting out.
Good and the wrong person. You're literally identical to this. That's not me. It sure looks a lot like you. That's not me.
As far as the police were concerned, Juan was guilty, and for the next 6 months, he'd spend his days on death row. But his lawyer wasn't ready to back down just yet. He carefully combed through hours and hours of footage from the Dodgers game, hoping to find Juan in the crowd and prove he was actually there. While he didn't have any luck at that, he did discover something that would break the case wide open.
By pure happenstance, comedian Larry David, the man who created Seinfeld, was filming an episode of his hit show Curb Your Enthusiasm that night. An even bigger coincidence, of the 58,000 seats, filming took place right alongside where Juan was sitting.
And on probably the fifth tape, I think it was, Juan walked right into the camera shot, and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, out of the 58,000 people at the game that day, there Juan was, just feet away from Larry David as he walked up the aisle. This not only placed him exactly where he said he was, but it also served as irrefutable evidence. Just 5 days later, the judge dismissed the case and dropped all charges against him. Eventually, the real criminal was found, and Juan was awarded $320,000 for being wrongfully accused. Man, Juan's just lucky his lawyer had his back. But this next guy, on the other hand, his back was against the wall at the bottom of the ocean for 3 straight days. And if it wasn't for a complete miracle, he'd be left for dead. See, in 2013, Okene was working as a cook aboard the Jaskin 4 tugboat when all of a sudden, a giant wave hit the side of the ship and capsized it, causing the entire vessel to sink 100 feet below the frozen depths of the Atlantic.
When I was in the toilet, then I saw a wave on the vessel, and suddenly I heard a voice saying, which is the bosun saying, the vessel is about to capsize, the vessel is about to capsize. And the next thing I saw was the vessel that went upside down.
After struggling to open a jammed door while water filled the ship, Harrison eventually found himself trapped in a pitch-black, 4-foot bubble of breathable air, where he would remain for 2.5 days, with limited food and even less oxygen.
When I was right in the water, when I have access to nothing, right down inside the water, I thought of my family, thought of my mom, my brothers, my wife. I have access to none of them, no way to get to them. And I was right in the water and I know I'm going to die.
And that's not the craziest part, because after 62 helpless hours, he was able to signal South African rescue divers who ultimately saved his life. But that wasn't even close to being the largest rescue operation, because this group of boys and their coach literally needed an entire army to save them.
A dozen members of a youth football team and their coach are missing.
Thought to be trapped in an underground cave. Every minute is important.
See, in June of 2018, after practice, the boys decided to explore the Tamlan Cave. But what they didn't realize was that their little adventure would nearly cost them their lives. Because while all 13 of them were deep inside the cave, unexpected heavy rain triggered flash flooding, which blocked their only way out. And with no food and continuous rising water levels, they were forced even deeper into the mountain until they finally found themselves stranded on a ledge, more than 2 miles from the cave's entrance. Yeah, at this point, they had nowhere else to go. But outside the cave walls, though, one of the largest international rescue missions ever was underway. I'm talking over 100 divers, 2,000 soldiers, and more than 10,000 volunteers from all over the world. And with the worsening weather conditions and a complex network of tunnels, rescuing them was not going to be easy.
Relentless rain is jeopardizing an already risky operation.
They believe that there has been flash flooding inside.
The desperate race now is to find another way in.
For 9 days straight, no one knew if the boys were even alive. That was until a team of British cave divers made an incredible discovery. Because on the 10th day of searching, without any success, they finally located the boys.
We're coming. It's okay. It's okay. Many people are coming.
Yeah, finding them was only half the battle. Getting them out was a whole new challenge. You see, rescuers had an extremely difficult time navigating the tunnels, and unfortunately, tragedy struck again.
Breaking news out of Thailand, where a former Thai Navy SEAL has died during rescue operations.
It's raised serious doubts about how they'll get the 12 boys and their coach out alive.
Yeah, without a safe way to get the boys out and time running out, their last option was to give them a sedative to knock them out, fitting them with diving masks, and transporting their unconscious bodies through the tunnels one by one.
Mission Impossible has now become Mission Incredible.
Well, this is what all of those who've been involved in this operation have been waiting to see. The boys are coming out.
And on July 10th, 18 days after they were first trapped inside, all 13 of them were brought to safety and reunited with their families. And with that, we've hit our final moment. An emergency landing that was so insane, it made history.
Around 2 in the afternoon on April 28, 1988, Aloha Airlines Flight 243 makes an emergency landing at Kahului Airport on Maui.
You see, the plane was just doing a routine 35-minute trip from Hilo Airport to Honolulu. But out of nowhere, something terrifying happened. Because while cruising at an altitude of 24,000 feet, an explosion went off, causing the entire plane to shake and leaving everyone terrified. Yeah, that's because an 18-foot section of the plane's roof suddenly ripped off. And with winds blasting through the cabin at 300 miles per hour, passengers were left holding on for their lives.
I heard an impact, looked up, and I saw that the plane was falling apart up in the front. Thought we were done.
I thought this was it, because from my angle, I only saw sky.
I noticed that right next to my feet was just an exposed area, and I could see the ocean below me.
You see, the only thing holding the cockpit to the rest of the plane was the floor, and at that moment, it could snap at any second, leaving the pilots with no choice but to make an emergency landing. And while all passengers miraculously survived, unfortunately, not everyone was as lucky.
Flight attendant Clarabelle C.B. Lansing was sucked out of the plane. She had been with Aloha Airlines for 37 years.
Yeah, out of the 95 people on board that day, only one didn't make it. So after an investigation, it was revealed that the unnoticed cracks in the fuselage caused the roof to tear off. And if it hadn't been for the skilled pilots on board that day, it wouldn't have been called the miracle landing of Aloha Airlines Flight 243.
Mostly skill and partly luck. A major disaster averted. Certainly a day people in Hawaii won't ever forget.
Damn, that's just wild. But somehow, these police chases are even crazier. I mean, we've seen stolen tanks, suspects doing donuts, and whatever the hell's going on here. Look, if you want to hear more, then you need to click on this video right here. These are the craziest police chases of all time.